Hi everybody, Michelle McClunan, astrologer and life coach, and I'm bringing you an astrology update for the full moon on the 4th of June in the sign of Sagittarius. This is a beautifully inspiring, higher awareness full moon, and I'm standing actually at the moment in a place called the Buddhist Retreat Center, which is situated in Ikopo in KwaZulu-Natal. It's a place that I've spent many years of my life, and there's beautiful memories coming up for me as I stand here looking at the rolling green hills of Zululand. Just realizing that as I stand here, being higher up, I get a higher perspective. And this is what this full moon's about. It's really about a big opportunity, this portal, this full moon, to actually get a higher perspective in our lives, to look at the vision that we have for our lives, what is really valuable to us, and to really set that as an intention, this full moon. So this full moon, as I said, is in the sign of Sagittarius, which means that the sun is opposite it in Gemini. And most importantly, with this full moon, the ruler of the full moon is Jupiter. And Jupiter has just moved into a new sign of Taurus, which only happens once every 12 years that it goes into Taurus. And it's got a theme that's going to be basically happening for the next year. So wherever you have sort of 0 to 29 degrees of Taurus in your chart, that will be where you'll find that there'll be some kind of expansion, possibly abundance, possibly opportunities, particularly concerning resources, concerning your values, concerning building something that is valuable to you. That will then see you through for the next cycle, the next Jupiter cycle, until it comes back to Taurus. Now, making this full moon even more special is the fact that the full moon is actually right next to what we call the North Node. And the North Node, you could see it in a chart in astrology almost as the North Star. It's our highest potential. And with Jupiter, the planet of abundance, the ruler of the full moon, being very close to that North Node, it's a chance for us to really kind of hone our vision. So if you look at the symbology of Sagittarius, Sagittarius is the archer. So he's half man, half beast. So he's got his feet firmly planted on the ground. There's a lot of strength there. Sag is the sign of wanting to see further, wanting to see a broader picture. Wanting to basically shoot his arrows, the archer, shoot his arrows into the cosmos, into different possible projects and endeavors that you might have. So when you look at the archer actually stands very firm, very planted, very grounded, and pulls that bow back. And there's a moment of very, very potent focus as he pulls that bow back, waits, hones his focus, and then fires the arrow. And I see that this is this full moon. It has the potential to really hone our vision and to set those fiery arrows off in terms of what we actually envision for our lives, what we envision for the planet, for those around us. Something you might want to do at this full moon is to just spend a few moments in reflection and see what you would like your life to look like in a year's time. Most importantly, how you would like to feel in a year's time. And then consider, because Taurus, which is where Jupiter is in Taurus, is a sign of common sense. It's sort of saying, what's important to you? What's really, really valuable? When you strip away all the extraneous details of your life, what is really important? How do you want to feel? Do you want to be more loving? Do you want to feel more peaceful? If those are things that are important to you as values, if you want to be more present, if you want to feel more connected, if those things are very important to you, then these are the times where we're actually aligning to that. So on a daily basis to say, am I aligned with what I actually want for my life? If I want peace, am I being peaceful? If I want to feel love, am I being loving? If I want to be connected, am I connecting with myself and others? So I would say those are the kind of questions to ask this full moon. The other thing to just be aware of is that the full moon is also in what we call a square. So it's in a kind of a tricky alignment to the planet Saturn, which is in the sign of Pisces. And that can mean that even though we have beautiful visions for our lives and we believe that we're full of potential, which we are, there are often self-doubts, there are often fears that come up that sort of hold us back from actually firing that arrow, from moving forward, from building the new. Jupiter in Taurus is about building the new vision, building a new vision, building a new community vision. So what is holding us back? It's usually our fears. And I'm going to say at this full moon and going forward, it's to acknowledge the fear, be in the observer position of the fear. See, yes, there's a fear there, but is it enough to hold me back? Am I going to allow the fear to hold me back? Is the fear real, or is it an illusion? Saturn being in Pisces can actually be fearful illusions, and usually those are provided by the mind, which will say, no, you can't do that, it's too risky, or you're too old, or you're not clever enough, or whatever it is. And it's really to look at those things this full moon and say, well, why not? Higher, lift your perspective. If you had, let's just say you had 1 year to live, what would you do with that one precious year? Only 1 year of healthy living. What would you do? How would you spend your time? Who would you spend your time with? What would you do on a daily basis? What would you spend more time doing on a daily basis? This North Node with Jupiter, the planet of abundance, in Taurus is about building the new, building a new vision. And in order to build a new vision, we've got to be focused on that vision. And I'm going to say it's not about the outside extraneous details that's important. So yes, you might have a vision for a new home or a new relationship or a new job, but it's not really about that. It's more, how will you feel if you were actually living that vision? And then to actually start living that now, because that's then going to align with that vision. And what happens then is that vision actually comes back to you and is manifested and comes to life. So if you are spending a lot of time in fear and trepidation, and you have a vision of being free, just to realize that you've got to bring yourself into a place of where you feel free on a daily basis. It could be a walk in nature like I'm doing now. It could be just sitting in nature for a few minutes. It could be just taking little chunks of time out for yourself where you're not too cluttered in the head. This is also a full moon. Full moons are always time to release, let go of anything that doesn't serve you. We still have Jupiter in a square to Pluto, which I've been talking a lot about. Pluto is the planet which encourages us to let go of what we don't need. So whatever is in your life that is cluttering it, be that commitments, be it articles, people, items, furniture, just clutter in general, whatever's cluttering your mind, just be aware of that, because it's actually blocking the flow. So look at what's cluttering. If your mind feels very cluttered, see if you can actually wipe that slate clean on a daily basis. Just say, yeah, this is my mind. There's lots of thoughts on it. I'm going to just wipe that clean. This is about writing a new story. It's about looking at your life in a new way. We have these stories that we tell ourselves about our lives. Maybe victimhood stories, maybe tragic stories of losses and disappointments and resentments. And these are the times, this particularly is the time to look at that story and rewrite it. See what actually is true. And even if it is true, even if you feel that it's true, how could you reframe it, rephrase it, rewrite it? So it's a very good month with the sun in Gemini, which is the sign of communication, and Jupiter being where it is with the North Node, and Sagittarius full moon. This is a very good month to rewrite your story. If you'd like to join us in rewriting your story, we are going to be focusing on that in our Inner Space community, which is the community that I run and facilitate with my partner John Homewood. And there's still time to join. Our first Zoom call is going to be on the 13th of June, and then another one 2 weeks later. We meet every second Tuesday during the month. And then there's lots of different support, meditations, affirmations, and that kind of thing to support you on your journey for the month and to kind of keep you on track for this new vision that you're going to be writing for your life. If you have a story of, I'm not good enough, then rewrite that. Look at it and say, well, where am I good enough? In what areas of my life am I good enough? If you have a story of, let's just say, you've been let down by certain people, ask yourself what you've learned by your interactions with those people, or your interactions or your learnings from what's happened in your life over the last few years. Sagittarius is the sign of higher learning. Jupiter is the planet of expanded awareness. So this is a chance and an opportunity for us to step into the place of the observer, into this place where you can see further, you can see wider, broader. You're not caught in the undergrowth of old patterns and old stories, so that you have a clearer view of what's ahead. And then you start to live from that place, and then that actually comes back to you. So I think that's enough for today. I hope that has helped. I've got to go and prepare now for this retreat which we're running, which starts tonight and ends on Tuesday in these beautiful hills of Zululand. So we'll be sending you love from here, and I'm wishing you a beautiful full moon and a really beautiful weekend as well. Lots of love. Thank you for tuning in, and if you like this video, please hit the subscribe button and the notification button, and you'll be notified when I put a video up. If you'd like to book a session, you can contact me through my website, which is in the link below. I do have a little bit of a wait, so it's best to book as soon as you can. Thanks for listening. Have a beautiful weekend.